Hi, folks. Welcome to the call. Hopefully, we'll keep this short. This is just a brief call to discuss what the Geek Group is and possibly some of the benefits that might interest you. Probably the easiest way is to go to multifamilygeeks.com first off. So the Geek Group is a little bit unusual. It's a small group of students in multifamily investment / syndication of multifamily properties. And it is by invitation only, which is a little bit unusual. It is also a monthly subscription group. And the first issue to discuss is the idea that we're really looking for values matches that fit in with the values of the group and the team. And so on our website, multifamilygeeks.com, the homepage, you'll find the core values. The first one, if you're willing to have me read through them, the first one is team player, open, honest, transparent. The second is humbly confident, no arrogance, no entitlement, facts over charisma. The third is do what we say, try to be realistic, and then be reliable. The fourth is do what's right, consider all, and because two people can have completely opposite ideas of what's right, we like to say consider all perspectives. It doesn't mean we agree with each other on our individual opinions, but at least we're working to see through the eyes of each other if at all possible. And then number 5, continually growing, open to the idea that we could learn something new that could change our perspective. And after we talk about values, we almost always say we're human, we make mistakes, but the 5 values give us a basis to move forward in building relationships. In other words, if it's clear we're not a values fit, it's not an emotional issue for us. We just talk about it and say we probably shouldn't be in business together. And just a quick note on values, just because we're not a fit with values with another person doesn't mean we can't love that person, be friends with that person, etc. It's just more of an idea that if a multifamily deal takes 5 to 7 years, probably not a good idea to be in business together for that amount of time if we don't fit each other from a values perspective. So then, if that is a fit with us, and we have a discussion with between you and us, and we talk about whether we believe that's true or not. If that's true, there are a list of benefits which might interest you for the Geek Group. If you scroll down to the bottom of the web page, and if you're willing, I might just read through those and try to explain a couple of them or more. So Geek Group subscription membership, Geek Group, Multifamily Geeks, Values Match, Mastermind, Brain Trust Group. It's a little bit of a varied group in terms of what its purposes are, but here are some of the benefits, and that'll probably give you a better idea of whether you would feel this would be an appropriate group for you to be involved in. So one of the big things is meet other values match students and practitioners in the multifamily industry. Like we said just before, we're trying to build a team of people that fit with those 5 core values, and that's more of an issue of we're trying to live by those and working at that on an ongoing basis. And that's kind of an interesting idea, only because so few groups sort of have that kind of basis where they're saying, hey, this is who we are trying to be. If you fit us, consider joining us. If not, it's okay. We can still be friends, even love each other, what may involve that type of relationship. But we shouldn't be in business together, right? And the basis of the Geek Group is if a deal pops up with one of the students, we are ready to become a sponsor of that deal, partner on that deal, possibly an LP investor, any number of options move forward from that foundation. So then it says, learn the beginnings of how to underwrite on the MFG portfolio underwriting template. If you scroll up, there is a free underwriting template right here. And in fact, what we're doing with the Geek Group is to give them even more of a benefit for their monthly subscription. The newer updated versions of that template are being offered to this Geek Group in advance of the general public. So we do give away this portfolio underwriting template for multifamily properties. It is a full featured, probably 15 tabs at the bottom. You can underwrite up to 7 individual multifamily properties, and it rolls up into a up to a 10-year pro forma analysis under the comprehensive tab, and there's plenty of public videos on how to use that one. We've gone ahead and started to revamp that and even make it better. And the Geek Group subscription members are getting a look at that newer template and training videos before anybody else. We say it's the beginnings of how to underwrite because underwriting trainings are an upcharge from the basic group membership. We have 2 underwriting trainings at this recording. One is a basic underwriting and the other is an advanced. They're each 8 weeks each, and they do cost quite a bit more per person for those individual trainings than the membership of the Geek Group. So that would be an upcharge for those trainings. But we talk about underwriting on a regular basis as part of the weekly calls in the Geek Group. So there is a basic understanding of how to underwrite on that template. All right. And then participate in group activities like underwriting demonstrations. That's part of our weekly calls. Meet values match suppliers like loan brokers, sponsors, property managers, and property inspectors. On our weekly call, we have all of those multifamily participants. And again, we're looking for people that talk to the group from the outside who are also values matches. So we're trying to keep that foundational idea of, are we a values fit from the beginning, and move through the group with that as sort of a core idea. Start your self-reflective personal growth plan. We have about a 5-page plan that we're constantly adding to, just allowing you to engage in a self-reflective manner. You can go through those pages, start to write in there, type in answers, start to think about where you're headed and what amount of time. Then we have engage our top 20 most valuable books for syndicators. On that page are a list of 20+ books that we think are very valuable for syndicators, and you should be reading through as you're entering into this industry. You need to start reading from that list. And many of the members on the Geek Group team are reading one or more of those books at any time, and you're welcome to interact with them outside of the group in terms of, hey, let's talk about that book a little bit more. Be listed on our website with your photo and brief bio to gain additional credibility with brokers. This is an interesting concept we've done, and so far it's worked out quite well for us, and it's a little bit unusual. But you'll see some of our students have gone ahead and submitted a photo and a brief bio, and this allows them to talk to brokers. When they're calling, the broker will say what company you're calling from. We even have a script where you can start to say, I'm calling on behalf of the multifamily geeks. I'm looking for the OM, the rent roll, and the T12. And you'll find that as you start to underwrite properties, especially using our template, and get to ask brokers specific questions, if they can see, hey, they're from a specific group, hey, I can see their face and their phone number. We list individual phone numbers under those bios, by the way. The contact information is individual. And we'll list your company name too, if that's appropriate for you. That's yet another benefit of the Geek Group subscription. Then we have participate in private equity fundraising for any future deal found by any Geek Group member for the 20% of GP reserved for this group. So oftentimes when sponsors find a deal, they will reach out to individuals to help raise private equity. And they will offer some percentage of GP to private equity raisers. The work done in exchange for that is you become involved in investor relations with the group of investors that you raise money from. And of course, you get to vet those deals for yourself to see if that's an appropriate deal for you to raise for. But it is another way to get general partnership of the deal is by raising for deals. So if we have those inside the group, those of course go to the group first before anybody outside the group. Then learn about multifamily topics, calling broker strategies, underwriting basics, asset property management, best practices, raising private equity for GP, using traction to develop your private equity firm, understanding legal documents, things like LOIs, PSAs, syndication paperwork, and more. And I don't know if we're offering any kind of in-depth on those, but we're offering a constant sort of exposure to the understanding of how all those aspects are rolled into the idea of multifamily syndication, which is, of course, pooling, well, not of course, which is pooling investor money to buy a large building, making improvements or some sort of value add to the building or property, selling the building or property and paying back investors a return on their investment. That's what syndication primarily is. So the next item, begin to engage multiple 3 and 3 strategies to achieve financial independence, legacy build, produce generational wealth, and develop your true self. So, Geek Group members are united around the idea that for each of us individually, we have an idea of what we want to do with our lives. We want to become potentially financially independent. Maybe we want to build generational wealth. Maybe we're trying to pass a business to our children. All of that is a unifying theme of Geek Group members. And there's many different ways to go about it. Our main purpose is multifamily investment and syndication. At the same time, we have members who are involved in single-family flipping, single-family development, multifamily development, senior living facilities, land purchases and development. We have any number of members who are involved in other activities, and we engage in those regularly as part of the weekly call. Members will come on and talk about their area of expertise, and will all often offer themselves, hey, give me a call if you want to talk about this, or you want to move into this area, or something comes up, some sort of deal that's in this area, I can talk to you about it, okay? Next item, opportunities to share your expertise with the group for greater personal growth, and that's kind of right in line with the one I just mentioned. We get to come on the weekly call, and we just schedule you in advance. We're scheduled out 6 months right now, but you get to talk about what your area of expertise is, and that allows you to build sort of an area of interest / expertise with the group that now the group can call on you if they need additional help in such areas. Receive ongoing referral payments for referring Values Match Geek Group participating members. We do have a growth share revenue program that is under the understanding that because this group is seeking values match individuals, it's much easier for members to refer new members than it is for the group to go out and market. So we like to keep that in-house, and participants are able to receive referring payments as part of that program. Receive inherent favored status for deal sponsorship. We can look at your deals faster. We already feel you're a values fit. We are more familiar with your underwriting. We are more responsive to Geek Group members when considering sponsorship than non-Geek Group members. This has just been an outgrowth of once the group is formed and we start talking to each other on a regular basis, we see each other's underwritings. We start to talk to each other. We think you're a values match as part of inviting you to the group in the first place. Now, when a deal comes up, almost always we are favoring the internal Geek Group students over anybody outside of the group. It just becomes a natural result of getting to know each other better. So next bullet, receive first notice of LP investment opportunities from Geek Group found deals and from sponsors who approach the Geek Group to raise for their deals. So that would be situations where somebody has found a deal and is looking for additional LP investment. We can bring those people into the group, and you can hear about those deals first. Our main interactive method is a weekly 90-minute call. It's currently on Fridays from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there's a price on the screen. You can see what that is. Probably by the time you see this, it will be higher. We have a cohort system where earlier members have been offered lower prices. That's just a nature of how many people in the group and how much additional resources it takes to work with additional members. So there's a number on the screen. You can go to multifamilygeeks.com to see that contact information, and you can set up a 30-minute or less, probably 25-minute or less call with me, and we can talk about the values and the group and see whether we're a fit for each other. Okay, so I hope that helps. I know a lot of you text me and say, what is the Geek Group? And it's kind of complicated for me to explain maybe on the fly, but I thought I'd do this call, and then we can take questions after this too in regard to any questions you might have, right? So I hope that helps, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording at this point. And thank you, guys. Appreciate talking to you.